Okay, guys, I dedicate this to the Mopar faithful that know I have a problem, and I just can't stop. Yeah, I cut it for a 202. That's an LS style valve. Don't cry because you'll love the results. I guarantee it. Wow. Wow, do these like a bigger valve. There's absolutely no meat between the two valves, and they're guaranteed to leak water like a sieve. But if we had a better casting, these would be smoking on the street. Okay, all I did was cut it for a bigger valve, which was an absolute nightmare. It's a good thing I love you guys, because what a mess. Hours to get a halfway decent valve job, because I don't have a guide that fits. So I had to do what I had to do to make it fit. The run out is less than 3 thousandths, which makes my OCD go nuts because that's way too much. But it was only good enough. As long as it's sealed on the bench, I was thrilled, and it's sealed, so I'm like good to go. The valve is an older LS 202 I had sitting around. It has a small back cut on it. All right, we got really, really good coverage on the liquid on the valve. It looks really good inside the bowl. We've got plenty on our edge of our chamber. We've got lots of little speckles all around. We got speckles on the exhaust valve. You can actually see the direction of the airflow in the chamber according to the exhaust valve speckles. It's great. Let's take a look at the bore. Yeah, taking a 0.6 inch lift for like a hot street setup. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, down its throat. Looks pretty good. You got just a little bit on the left side of the guide. We got a nice angle on our liquid. Alright, I changed the view so you can see the liquid on the chamber. I'm going to say that's pretty good. I really like the way that worked out. So you're going to have, make fun, but this is my Fuely copy on a Mopar head. Worked out really well with the bigger valve. Let's take a look at how little metal there is between those two valves at this point. Okay, guys, it's going to be hard for me to show you this, but right where the crack is, all right, too thin to be serviceable as far as I'm concerned. I didn't go crazy with the bowl. I basically took the bowl and made it fit the valve size. The roof hasn't been touched. The short side radius hasn't been touched as far as the apex. Okay, you can see the valve job is pretty horrible. Remember, when you make the valve job bigger, you have to reduce the thickness of that overhang as it goes to the valve seat. Okay? So you have to make sure there's metal there. There's actually plenty of metal on this short side. They did that really well. They gave us plenty of metal to work with on this short side radius. But in order to, when you take that edge down, you're changing the shape of that short side. You're making it stand up straighter. Okay, now you can, what that's going to do is it's going to change where in the flow curve it's more efficient. That's the easy way to say it. Okay, sorry, trying to get you guys better lighting. You can see we got a hit on the floor with liquid. We've got a hit with liquid on our straight wall. It goes right down the straight wall into our bowl and over. I'm going to say it's a winner. Okay, let's go over flows quick because I'm smoked out of my mind on a Sunday night. Okay, this is the last time you saw it. I did a lot of layback on that short side radius. But when I made it a bigger valve, right, the top of that apex will be the same, but now it's straighter as it comes down into the valve seat. So what will that do? Well, it's going to change where in this curve it's more efficient, right? So let's go down our pluses and minuses. We got a plus, we got a minus, we got a plus, we got a minus, plus, 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 plus. It basically takes off like a rocket from what we had. And this was a solid street curve, right? 265.9 at 600 without a giant port. It's going to give you great torque. We stepped up quite a bit. It peaked out to 289 at 5.75. I had to go back and do it again because I was like, that's not possible. Because from 252, it literally just jumps. Right around here, it is as happy as can be. Okay? At 300, we broke 200, which isn't great, but it's okay. The low lifts are fine. In fact, they're pretty decent compared to most crap out there. Let's see what happened with our swirl. Well, it's hit or miss. I remember I wasn't completely thrilled with this curve. It was good, but it's a little steep, right? So this actually has a lot of minuses, but I like the curve better. Okay, you don't really want a huge amount of swirl because you want to take that energy and fill the cylinder. This will fill the cylinder better. Okay? Overall, it's definitely a better combo by far. Okay? Now, part of the reason I did this experiment, one is because you guys deserve it. Second is I have an Australian buddy who's going to send me a set of Chinese Magnum heads. And we've discussed it, and I think they're worth putting bigger intake valves in. So I figured I'd spend some time and see what we can do. So here's our air speeds for our last cut, which was the 6th. This is our 7th. Our 7th air speeds are here. They're all at 0.6 inch lift. All right. Our tiny pinch is cranking. Our roof quieted down a little bit. Because of the bigger valve, right, more air wants to go out in the less shrouded parts of the chamber. So that's why our numbers dropped there. But take a look what happened to our short side. Our short side went ballistic. In fact, I cannot ever remember getting a short side speed at 473 before. Now you have to remember, it's a 0.6. It's moving 284 CFM at 2,776 RPM of swirl. So it's going in like crazy. I think something like this will work great right up until that port stalls. So let's say, just say for instance, you have an engine that brings our air speeds up to where it stalls at 7,000 RPM. After 7,000 RPM, it will not make any more power than it makes at 7,000. Okay? It's not like it's going to die, but it takes more energy to move the air, accelerate the air than it's going to make. So the flow literally stalls. Okay? Because it's going sonic at that point. In any case, if we keep it below sonic, that thing is going to pound air into the cylinder. You correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I know there's plenty of guys watching this that are way smarter than me. And that's fine. If I make a mistake, please correct me. Alright, guys. So, as an experiment, I think these are well worth a bigger valve size. I personally would never do this on a stock Magnum head, but that's me. Someone asked me to do a set of Magnum heads recently in the comments. Sorry, I don't think I'm going to do that. I hate to send away business, but we'll see how these Chinese Magnums work out. If they put the metal in the right spots, they should work really well. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.